I know I said in my previous cookie run video that another one's in the making, but the cookies are taking a while to bake, so please bear with me. I'm sure a lot of you guys know the 10 art styles challenge, which is to draw a character in 10 different art styles. And I'm here to do the same thing. The styles I chose would be from anime, video games, and other artists I follow online. Now, full disclosure, I'm not that great at this, so I'm sorry in advance if this challenge is a bust. I tried my best, I swear. Now, I've seen a lot of people when doing this challenge, they opt to draw their avatars, sonas, or OCs, and I decided I'm going to be drawing my OC Charlotte, who's part of a project of mine that I'll explain in a future video. Right now, just know that she is my baby and I love her so much. Now, full disclosure again, most of these would just be half bust-up shots depending on the style. Sorry in advance, I just don't have much time and I know some of these styles are gonna break me. So, starting with the video game Persona. I would watch my sister play Persona 5 when I was younger and how we both got invested in the story. And I ended up getting into the franchise more than she did at the end of it. I don't know, it always happens when she introduces me to a fandom. One thing I dreaded when taking up this challenge is that not only did I have to replicate the style, but also the way that it's colored. And because I effing suck at shading and rendering, to lessen the pain, I decided to try and draw Charlotte in a way similar to the dialogue portraits in the game. The first attempt was fine, I guess. I didn't really like it and had to put the thing down for a while before restarting the whole thing again. I took more time to study the art style and coloring used in the portraits, and this turned out a lot better than the first one. So here's Persona Charlotte. Now do a side-by-side comparison between the first and second attempt. You can clearly see there's a big gap. While we're on the topic of Persona, the next style is that of the artist Rokuro Saito, who has drawn the art for the Persona 5 manga Memento's Mission and the Persona 4 Arena manga. And I would like to thank him for blessing my retinas with how he draws Ren, and for drawing him in that lady cockpit. I will be screaming about that later. Anyways, Rokuro's art has honestly one of the hardest for me, especially with how he draws faces. I was somewhat in the same situation when drawing the Persona 5 art style. This was actually the second attempt I made at drawing it, and it took me like how many back and forths between the drawing and the images of his art I've saved for me to get the result I wanted. I didn't know how to go about his coloring either, since most of his art I've seen is just black and white with some flat colors, so I tried to emulate that instead. I can't say I liked the shading, but I liked how it turned out in the end. Another artist I grew to like is the YouTuber artist Actually Ray, or just simply June. I'm sure the same can be said for other people, but June has inspired me to be less rigid with my art and enjoy the process in it, especially with traditional. I swear, I bought how many highlighters and all of those are for sketchbooking because of them. And you know they're right, it's actually fun and liberating. Now, digital-wise, I tried drawing Charlotte based on their prism drawings with how they look clean but still have that sketch-like look at the same time. I like how they draw the blush lines on some of the characters, specifically like in this drawing of Cat, since they look like cat whiskers on her and it looks really cute. I also drew Charlotte wearing a prism uniform because in my project she's somewhat of a magical girl, but like I said, I'm gonna tell you guys that another day. Added in a prism of her own, and here's Charlotte in June's style. I tried my best and I think she looks cute, and yes, Charlotte is definitely my Apollo. Moving on, the other YouTube artist that inspired me not only in art but to start YouTube in general is Emily from the channel Emerichu. Among the YouTuber artists on this list, Emily was the one I knew the longest. Emily mostly draws herself in this chibi-esque art style, but I thought I'd draw Charlotte based on some of her older artworks that aren't chibi. I mostly took inspiration from her fan arts, especially this art she did of older versions of Anya and Becky from Spy Family. Emily's style is a bit on the sketchy side, and it's a bit more evident when you look it up close. And I realized that too late by the time I finished this piece, so crap. But I did like how it turned out though, and if I were to give Charlotte a headcanon art style, it would probably be something like Emily's. Well, here's a series I didn't expect to latch on to. Alien Stage. Now, I didn't know much about the series and didn't even jump into the bandwagon when it was trending online. But apparently, I had unknowingly listened to its music before watching the actual thing because my sister would often play Cure and Blink Gone, which are bangers by the way, out loud on Spotify in our room. And so I finally watched it, and man, I was not expecting so much emotional damage from what is essentially Hunger Games the musical. Like, I did not expect the direction it took, but I still loved it regardless. Now going to the actual drawing, I tried leaning more to Vivino's art style more, specifically from the official art of the characters. I also looked at a bunch of concept art images I've seen online. Much like what I did for June's style, I gave her a different outfit, one where she would perform and sing for her life. And here she is. Do you guys think she'll survive? Next up is an anime I got into surprisingly quickly than I ever thought, One Piece. Now I've known and was aware about the series for a while now, but I never watched it as a kid since I thought the art style was too goofy for my taste and I wasn't even big on anime at the time. And well, would you look at that, I have a wall of waifus and husbandos now. Anyways, the art style of One Piece can be rather diverse in my opinion. For the men anyways. The women, however, I wish didn't have a one-fits-all type. Like, I know Oda has drawn different body types for some of the female characters, but I decided to go for the default snatched hourglass waist. For the face, Oda has a distinct way of how he draws faces for all his characters, and screw Toei for butchering that. I followed some images found on Pinterest and went with the less round type of eyes. Based on character sheets and model images in general, One Piece seems to have a relatively easy way of shading, so there isn't really much to say about this. I added more lines in the hair, which I honestly stopped doing since having to add those every time I drew wasn't that fun for me anymore. And yet, that is what most of the styles I chose have, so yeah, here's One Piece Charlotte. Up next is Mari-kun. Mari-kun is one of the biggest inspirations when it comes to improving my art. Like, it was after watching her videos that I learned to color in my line art and improve my color theory a bit overall. Now, Mari's style is this adorable chibi aesthetic with really smooth line art with the classic thick lines on the outside, thin lines on the inside. Now, I haven't done fully colored line art in a while because it got me a bit burnt out every time I drew a piece, so I started minimizing it to coloring lines in various places, but I went back to it when drawing this art style. One thing I think is my favorite about Mari's art style is how she colors eyes. I don't know how to explain it, but the eyes are one of the first things I see when looking at her art. The way she uses variations of the same color while adding completely different ones goes so well. I just love it. Anyways, here's Charlotte in Mari-kun style. This is honestly one of my favorite pieces I've made in this challenge. Like, I'm really happy with how it turned out in the end. Now, this is another series I didn't expect to love as much as I do right now, and I'm not joking here, My Dress-Up Darling by Shinichi Fukuda. Despite being a fan service anime, the series is actually well loved by both male and female fans, which, is rare in that sense. To the point that I personally consider it to be one of the best romance animes I've seen in a while. Now, I'll be emulating the style of the official arts and the manga for this challenge. Fukuda's art style is like a mix of classic anime aesthetics with modern, detailed designs. She also uses vivid colors for clothes and hair, and it really makes every drawing of Marin pop. I actually grew to love Marin so much that not only collected the manga and figures, but I also based part of Charlotte's personality off of her. That just goes to show how much of an impact she's had on me. Albeit sometimes for better or for worse. And so here she is. This is another one of my favorites I've done for this whole challenge. We're down to the last two, and the second to the last is The World Ends With You. To be honest, I only knew/found out about the game because the characters made an appearance in Kingdom Hearts, which is a game made by the same company, Square Enix. I never played the game myself, but my sister bought and played the sequel, Neo: The World Ends With You. And one of the things that attracted me towards the game was not only the music, but the art style and character designs. One of the most noticeable things in the game's art style was how they used thick line art and spot blacks. They used thin and sharp edges when drawing limbs, and from what I've read, it's heavily inspired by street art and urban youth fashion. This was another challenge for me since I'm not used to drawing with thick lines, and honestly I could have done better with this, but part of my brain was already at the point where I just wanted to get this challenge over with. I still think it's cute, but anyways, here she is. Also, side note when looking at the other characters as a base, does anyone else think that this guy looks like Ritsu from N-Stars? Or is that just me? And last but not least, we have the series Oshinoko. I decided to draw the style of the manga, which is drawn by Mengo Yokoyari. Now, I've actually finished the Oshinoko manga way back, and I have a lot of things to say about the ending, and none of them are nice. One way for me to describe my thoughts is that one horse meme people use for anime. You guys know the one. Anyways, moving on. I really adored Mengo's art style so much I bought the art book for the series. Her style has this sketch-like yet still detailed line art, and the way she uses colors too has this almost like painterly quality. I couldn't properly explain it. The features I wanted to get as close as possible were the hair and the face, as well as the way she colors and renders skin, which again is still the bane of my existence. I think I did alright. I think. I could have done the shading better, but you know, it's fine. I do like how I did the hair and face though. I think it's nice. And so yeah, here she is. I feel the angle of the face is a bit off, but what can you do? And that's all 10 art styles done. Thank you guys so much for watching the video if you made it this far. I had fun doing this challenge and I might do this again with another OC, so let me know if you like that. And if you want to see my future cookie run video, then be sure to subscribe so you know when it'll be released. But yeah, thanks again, and feel free to comment which art style you think I did the best at or you like the most. And have a good one, bye!